Welcome to the IATSE Local 873 online crewing application tutorial. This application is developed and customized for keys and headed departments to place their own crew requirements. You can choose to use this application for just reviewing your orders or placing your own crew. This system is built to have you in control of your own department needs. Never be on hold again. Save time and minimize errors. Welcome to our tutorial. Thanks for taking the time. Let's get started. So let's go ahead and log into the website. Log in here. Let's add our email address and our password. Log in. So then you'll get to this page here, and then you want to go to My 873. And then the two links that you'll use for this online crewing is either place order or review orders. Those are the only two links that you'll use. You will find that the majority of your time will be spent in review orders. That's because you can actually place orders in review orders, and you can do pretty much everything in review orders. But perhaps you don't have any calls yet in the system. That's when you would use place order to start that first original call. But we'll get into that later. So let's go ahead and go into review orders. So here we are in review orders. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of all the different features on the review page. So let's go through all the drop downs. First you have production. So here, if you click your production, it will only know the production that you are on. The call stewards will give you permission to only work on the one show. So department. It will know what department you're in. It will always default to the department that you're a member in. However, if you do click on the department, you will see all the different departments that IATSE has. The reason for this is because many departments have sub-departments that they have to place orders for. So let's say rigging grip, they need drivers, they need to do transport. Construction also needs to do labor and transport. Special effects needs transport. Set deck needs transport. Scenic needs craft service. I mean, the list goes on. There's quite a bit of sub-departments within the departments. So that's why in the department drop-down, you have all the different departments there. Again, it will know and default to your department as a member. So next we have shift date. If you click on shift date, you'll see a calendar pop up. This allows you to go back in time. You can see what you had back when the show started or any time in between, and just see what happened on any certain day. So you go ahead and click the day, and then you would go ahead and click apply filter, and all your information for that day will come up. Next you have your today and your tomorrow buttons. The reason we have those right there for you is you're always going to look at what's happening today, what's happening tomorrow. So those are your two easy buttons there for what day you need. And then you have your shift date calendar to go back in time. So let's go ahead and hit today. So let's see what's happening today. It will always default to tomorrow. So when you open up your My 873 review orders, it will always default to tomorrow's calls. So if you want to see what's happening today, you click on today. So let's go ahead and quickly see what I have today. You can see me, John Doe, as the key rigging grip listed. As well, you can see my two dailies, my two name hire dailies, their callbacks, and then I had one new call right here. So I have 3 dailies, 2 are callbacks, 1 new, and you can see me as the rigging key. So that's all the calls for this show for grip for today. So another quick feature we have here, quick overview of the features, is another one is daily calls. So I find that once a show gets started, there'll be so much information on this one sheet. Right now it's very simple. You have 3 dailies and 1 pick, but a lot of times that show will turn into 20, 30, 40, 50 people, even higher, depending on what category. So sometimes you just want to see what dailies you have, and an easier, simpler way is just to click on the daily calls. So if you're just looking to see what's happening in the daily world, just go ahead and click dailies, apply filter, and then the keys, the 1 weeks, the show calls, everyone will disappear except the dailies. So that's something that comes in handy when shows get really busy and you just want to see what's happening in the daily world. Next is seniority order. If you have a bunch of dailies and you want to know their seniority order, go ahead and click that and apply your filter, and you'll get all the technicians in category in seniority. However, if they are sorted by name hires, they will be sorted in seniority within name hires, and then the daily seniorities will be sorted in seniority with the dailies within the seniority of the dailies. So just keep that in mind, but this button up here comes in handy when you want to know who's the most senior on your crew. So let's go ahead and make some callbacks for tomorrow. So let's see who we have today. We have 3 dailies today. We want all of them back tomorrow. So we're going to click all of them here. You can either go and collect them all from the top there, or individually grab who you want as a callback. So we're going to grab all 3 for tomorrow, and then we're going to go up to this feature here, call back to next day. So we're going to go ahead and call back to next day these 3 technicians, and then you'll have your new call time and location. If you want to change it up, it will default to what you had today. So let's say our callbacks are 9 o'clock tomorrow. Change it to 9 o'clock. And perhaps instead of 30 booth, they are going to start at Old City Hall. And instead of me, they're going to see Larry and it's going to be a long day with multiple locations. So I'm just letting them know a little more information for tomorrow. Then I go ahead and submit that. So I've changed my call time and location for my callbacks tomorrow. So now I want to go to tomorrow to check out what I've done. So you'll see my callbacks are in for tomorrow. The Y means callback. I have 3 dailies. They are now at 9 a.m. at Old City Hall with my new call specs. So you'll see with the comments here that your name will be stamped automatically to let the call stewards know who placed this order. So if you do anything online, it will automatically stamp your name in the comments section to let the call stewards know who placed this order. So we have our callbacks in tomorrow, and perhaps we want to make 3 new calls. So we have our 3 callbacks plus 3 new calls. So let's go ahead and make these new orders. So like I said before, you don't even have to leave review orders to place new calls. So what you would do is you would find just one of the calls, click it here, and let's go to multiple copies. So just go ahead and click on your multiple copies. So we're going to make 3 extra calls on top of this one. So let's go to 3 copies for a total of 4, meaning this call plus 3. So let's go ahead and make 3 copies and then go to create copies. And then you'll see your 3 fresh calls in the system. Let's go ahead and maybe these 3 calls, you want different locations, or you want different times. So we're going to go ahead and edit these calls. So click on the calls that you want to edit, and then you go up to edit orders. So once you get to the editing page, you see the calls that you want to edit. So you go ahead and edit whatever you need to do. So let's say the first one is going to start at 06 a.m. and perhaps you want them to start maybe at a different location. So I just delete what I have there. I'm going to start them at Showline Studios. And this one as well, 6 a.m. at Showline Studios. And this one, they're going to see me. Maybe I'll give them my phone number. Then I'll just take that, copy here. And then this one, I want to just keep 9 o'clock at the location. So everything looks good here. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then you'll see my different edits. So you'll see my new 3 calls that I made, 2 of them for 6 a.m. at Showline. 1 stays with the callbacks for 9 o'clock at Old City Hall. And then these are all ready to go. So let's go ahead and name hire one of these calls. So first check with the call steward to make sure your show is a name hire show. Some shows do not allow name hires for daily calls. They have to be seniority calls. So once we know we can name hire, we're going to go and edit this call. We're going to go up to edit orders again. Now, if you're putting a member in category on one of these calls, you have to change the call type. So we're going to change the call type to daily NH. If you have a name attached to any calls for name hires, you have to change the call type. So any seniority calls would just be daily. Any name hires have to change to name hire daily. And the reason for this is because the technician that you're name hiring has to call in available, and the system matches the call up with the technician, and they get sent an email that they need to confirm. If daily NH is not attached to that, the system doesn't know to send that person an email. So let's go ahead and name hire someone for this call. So I would change it to name hire, like there, and then I would just go ahead and start with the last name first. And then you want to make sure it's the person you're looking for, because you'll see their category, and you'll also see M for member. So if it's a P, that means permit. M means member. So this looks like the person I'm looking for. Great. So go ahead and place the member in like that. It's autocomplete, so again, you just need to start with their last name and you'll see their name pop up. So we're going to go ahead and name hire this member for tomorrow. We're going to save the order. So then we have our 3 callbacks plus our new name hire. Once this person confirms their name hire, this call waiting spot will turn to crewed. So once he confirms his email, this will be confirmed and this will turn to crewed. These 2 are open calls, so then you can log in anytime after crewing hours and see who was crewed on your call. Now let's go ahead and place permit requests for these 2 open orders. So if we want to let the call stewards know our permit requests, we click on the calls that we want to edit. Again, you want to go to edit orders. And then in the comments section, this is where you want to put your permit requests. So here you simply put what you're doing, you're putting in your permit requests. So write the word permit requests, and then you would just go ahead and write the names of the people that you need. So now I have to do it on both spots because you want to make sure on every open call that the permit requests are in each call, because what happens if a member takes the one call and then you forget to put it in the comments of the second call, we won't know what permits you want. So please make sure you put the permit requests in every open spot so that it doesn't get missed. The permit request means once the call stewards go through seniority, they will offer this rigging call to all the GRIP members that called in. Then they will offer it to all the craft service GRIP members that have called in. And then once we get to permits, we will go ahead and go to your request and see who you want for this call. They will be called first. So we do requests first. So if there is a request in there, we will crew that permit request for that show right away once we go through membership and we're on to permits. Please make sure that permit calls in available. If that permit does not call in available, we will not call that permit. So it's very easy for the crewers to crew permit requests if that permit is on the list. So please make sure the permit calls in available for that permit request, and they will be crewed right away when we are after members and into permits. So once you put your permit requests in, you can review your orders and see the permit request there in the comment section. So we've placed our orders for tomorrow. We have the 3 callbacks, we have the 1 new name hire, and we have the 2 open daily calls that will go through seniority. If it gets to permits, you've let us know what permit requests you have there. Let's not forget a driver. So I need to place a driver call with all these technicians for grip rigging tomorrow. So I'll go ahead and just click on one of them, and then I'll do a multiple copy. And I just want to make 1 copy. So create copies. So then I'll see my 1 open copy here. So I want to take that and I want to edit that because I want to change it to transport, and I want to add a bunch of new stuff. So department, so I got to change this to transport. Subcategory for transport is just driver, which is great. Daily calls 6 a.m. Let's maybe say 9 o'clock. Show line, let's keep it there. Now in call specs with transport, it's very important to add the category they are working for. You would hate for a transport driver to receive a call and not know what department they're working for. So again, in call specs, the more information, the better, because the technician needs to know exactly what they're doing. So I would go ahead and write rig and grip here. Let's say you have lots of instructions for them. This is where you want to put it. So pick up, truck, license plate, and then see me with at take the truck to Old City Hall and give the address, and then my phone number, if any problems. So that way the driver has all that information. So with driving, when you add a driver, please don't forget to place the license. So let's say we need a DZ for this rig and grip driver tomorrow. So the DZ is under license. So we don't have a name hire for this. This is going through seniority. Perhaps you have a permit request. There you go for the permit request. And then we save this order, and then we can go review this order. So like I said before, the department will always default to yours. If you're looking for another department, you have to change the department. So let's go ahead and look for that transport call for tomorrow. Apply filter. So there it is. It's all ready to go. Daily call 9 o'clock, show line. It's for rig and grip, pickup truck, license plate, see John, take the truck to Old City Hall. There's my phone number if problems. And if it gets to a permit, we've asked for this person. So again, once this is crewed, the name will be here, and you can log in and review your orders to see who you're going to get. So let's go back to grip and review your orders for tomorrow. Again, 3 callbacks, the 1 new name hire, and the 2 new open calls with permit requests. So now our next feature we're going to talk about is same text as next week. So we're going to use same text as next week on a Friday or on a Saturday when we want our calls to reflect for Monday when there is a weekend in between. So on the Friday or Saturday or actually Sunday, placing orders for Monday. So let's go ahead and do our calls for Monday. So we want to go to the Friday. So today is Friday. There's the Friday. Here are all our calls for Friday. And basically, we want the same name hires as Friday to Monday. So I will go and do my 1 weeks. I want these 2 back on the Monday, but because the weekend's in between and the work week is done, I want to open up as new 1 weeks. So John and Justin are my 2 1 weeks for next week. So I'm going to go to same text next week. Same text next week tells me next week is June 10th. Perfect. Same text as next week. Go ahead. And here is where I can put my call time and location. So 7 a.m. at Pinewood. And submit. So then we will go to Monday and see what happened to our 1 weeks. There they are. They're all ready to go. They're 2 1 weeks, both of the people I want. This means that it hasn't been filled yet because they have not confirmed. And again, it just stamps that it was me that placed the order. So from here, I can go ahead and make additional calls by doing multiple copies and adding 1. But let's say I have 2 name hired dailies as well. So with the daily calls, you can do the exact same thing. Even though they're dailies, you can do the same thing as 1 week. So I want these 2 name hires back for Monday. There's a weekend in between. That's when I can use same text as next week. I could do it all at the same time, but I'm just showing you the difference between the 1 weeks and dailies. There isn't much difference other than calling them 1 weeks or calling them dailies. It's just you want that person back from Friday to Monday, and you can change what kind of call it is anyway. So you can do 1 week, show call, or name hire, but that way they just come over from the Friday to Monday and clean it up nicely because it's not technically a callback. It's a callback with the weekend in between, so it opens up the call. So then I'll search for the Monday, and we can see that our dailies are back, cleaned up again, not confirmed yet. 1 week's dailies called back from Friday to Monday. Very simple by same text as next week. And then I can go ahead and make additional calls with this. So I can add calls, add transport calls through my multiple copies. But this is how you would bring back calls from Friday to Monday. Very simple, very easy, and very quick. So now that we've mastered review orders and how to make calls and review orders, we're going to talk about place orders. So you would use place orders to create a brand new order, making it from scratch. With review orders, you already have calls in the system. But let's say it's your first day on the job, or you absolutely have no calls that you can use online already. You're simply placing your first order, or you just want to start from scratch. That's when you would use place order. So let's go ahead to place order, my 873 place order. So here you have the template of all your crew scenarios. So production, it knows what production you're on. It will always default to tomorrow. So today's Tuesday, so it knows that I'm looking for Wednesday calls. Again, if it's Friday, you can place them for the Monday or the Sunday or the Saturday. But for now, it's Tuesday. We're doing it for Wednesday. It knows I'm grip, so it'll stay to grip. My subdepartment's rigging, so I always want to put my rigging calls. Call specs, like we've talked about before. We're going to let them know to see myself, my phone number, let them know it's a long day, multiple locations, bring safety boots, harness if they have one, any information that I want them to know, I place it in call specs. Start time, this is what time I want them. If you simply don't know, or you're placing a name hire and you've told them directly, you can click no's or TBD. That way it will just default to no's and the call time won't matter. But if I do know call time, I put it in there. Site locations, it's at Pinewood, so I'm just going to start with my Pinewood location and it populates here. Call type, this is what type of call it is. I'm doing a seniority call, so I'm just going to stick with daily seniority. If I'm doing a name hire, I would do daily name hire and so on. 1 week name hire, show call name hire, but I'm doing a daily seniority. If I was doing a name hire, this is where I would type in the last name first and do my name hire, but I'm just doing a seniority call, so we'll do seniority. License, this is for transport calls only. If I'm not doing a transport call, I leave it blank. And comment section, this is where I'm going to do my permit requests. So in place orders, this is where I'm going to do one order, and then I'm going to go to review orders and make another copy of it and do multiple copies. So place orders is simply doing that one first order, hitting save orders, and then I'm going to go look and review it in review orders. From there, I can multiply and do whatever I need to do. So let's go to review orders once it saves here. So once it's saved, I can look at review orders. Here's my call. It's a rigging grip call, daily call. I actually need 2 people tomorrow. So I'm going to simply click here, multiple copies, one more copy, create my copy. So the only thing I need to do to this is place my permit request on this line as well, because every open order I want to have my permit requests so that they don't get missed. Say a member takes one of the calls, then down below I need the other call to have the permit requests in there. So copy, paste it in this one, save it. So again, once I place my order, I can go to review orders and I can do whatever I want with that one call. I can make 20 copies. I can change this to transport. I can simply maybe name hire this one call, do whatever you need to do. But this is all once you place one order and then go to review orders to place the rest. So let's talk about site location. In our system, we have pretty much every location that's ever been shot or every studio space that has ever been shot in Toronto. It's all been pre-populated. So all you have to do is start typing Let's do 30 Booth. There it is. It comes right up. Let's do Pinewood Studios. Start with 225 Commissioner. There it is. That comes up. Let's do 777 Kipling. Start. There it goes. So we pretty much have every single location. We have locations all over in Hamilton as well. You just have to start typing in the first address part and your location will come up. So I just want to make clear that the location does not have to be part of the autocomplete. You can simply put any location you want. However, we do have quite a large autocomplete populated location database in here. So all the studios, all the very common, frequent locations will be in that location drop box. But if you don't like our location that we have, feel free to override it and place whatever location you want in there. And then you would just go ahead and save your orders. So another feature within the site location is this word test. So if you hit test, it goes to Google Maps. And this map is sent to the technician. So the reason we have the word test is because if you're not quite sure what you just wrote, and you want to test where Google Maps is placing this location, that is why it says test here. So you just want to make sure, yes, this is Pinewood in Toronto, instead of sending them to Pinewood in Hamilton or something like that. So again, it's just a confirmation of where everything is. So that's the test button. It goes right to Google Maps. So let's talk about call specs. This is a very important tool to use when you're doing your online crewing. Call specs are emailed to the technician, so you want to let that technician know as much as you can about the call that they're taking. Shuttle information, what they should wear, the safety equipment you want. Let them know if it's a long day, short day. If you want, you don't have to. You can let them know whatever you think is important for that call. So let's go ahead and they can see me at the front. Here's my phone number. If lost, long day, multiple locations, bring safety boots, harness if you have one. So whatever you want to write there, you can write a book, you can write as much as you need or want, and that is all in your call specs. So let's say half the day goes by and you all of a sudden do not need your Pinewood Studio calls for tomorrow. At any time before you're cut off, you can take these calls and you can do whatever you need with them. So if you need to delete them, just go ahead and delete them. So let's say Pinewood's not happening anymore. You go ahead and click the calls that you want and simply hit delete. And it'll say, are you sure you want to delete? Say you're sure by clicking delete orders again, and those 2 calls are gone. So now they've disappeared. So at any time you can delete calls. That's not a problem. But again, after 6:15, you're not able to delete anything. So you can't delete anything from the past or on today. You can just delete what you have for tomorrow that hasn't been crewed yet. So let's talk a little bit about when you're able to place calls on online crewing. So you're only able to create calls the day before. So I can create calls for tomorrow and that's it today, since today's Wednesday. So I'm creating calls for Thursday. So the only time you can go jump ahead is on Fridays. So on Fridays you can do calls for Friday for Saturday, Friday for Sunday, Friday for Monday. If it's a long weekend and Monday is a holiday, you're able to do Friday for Tuesday. And you would go to that calendar and make sure you're set for that Tuesday or that Monday. So you got to make sure on the Friday, if you're doing it ahead of time, that you make sure you hit the right day. So right now we're just doing Thursday tomorrow, but know that on Friday you can jump ahead to the Monday. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what times I can use this system. So to place orders, edit orders, delete orders, add orders, I can do that up to 6:15 Monday to Saturday and 1:15 on Sunday and holiday Mondays. Up to 6:15, you can do what you need to do with these orders. After 6:15, it will cut you off and you're not able to make any changes. The reason for that is the call stewards start crewing at 6 p.m. or 1 p.m. on Sunday or holiday Mondays. So we need all the orders in by that time. We can't have people placing orders after that time, or we wouldn't be able to monitor or manage the crewing system. Now, to review your orders, you can simply review your orders 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's not an issue. You can always look at your calls, but you do need to get those calls in well before 6:15 during the week and 1:15 on holiday Mondays and Sundays. But reviewing orders 24 hours a day. So I'm just going to discuss a few more features that the online crewing has for you. Let's say in the morning you're looking for someone and you need their phone number that's working on your crew. You can simply click on the person that you're looking for and all their information comes up. So easy peasy, click on the name and all their information comes up. Another feature is if you want to, let's say this new person that you have for tomorrow, instead of calling them or texting them, you can just click on their name here and email to assign. This will send them exactly what you have stated here, 9 a.m. Old City Hall, just to give them an FYI of all their information for tomorrow. Or if you change the callbacks, you just want to remind the callbacks what they have, you can send it to all of them, email to assign. So you can always email anyone through the system any information that you have for time and location and call specs. So let's say I want to print what I have here for a hard copy, for a paper copy. I'd go ahead and add all my calls and then I'd hit print. And then I would just go ahead and print these calls, just like that. Now with printing, the phone numbers are added to the technician's name. So you have easy access to all their phone numbers. So once we go back, we have all our orders for tomorrow. Don't forget our transport call. That's already in. And again, with transport, right now there's just one call, and it's really easy to see the rigging grip call, but shows get very busy. So again, you'll see maybe 20, 30, 40 different calls for that show. So another example of why it's so important to put exactly the call specs, what department that driver is working for, is so that you can go and search for your call, no problem. So again, the daily calls really help because it will eliminate all the show calls 1 weeks and pick positions. But even with dailies, some transport shows are quite large. So you'll have to go and make sure you see the right call for your department. So thank you for taking the time and watching our online crewing tutorial. Please feel free to check back at any time to learn the steps or review any of the options you have with the online crewing. If you ever need any guidance or help, feel free to call the call steward department at any time. We're 24 hours a day and we're only a phone call away. Thanks again. Take care.